So welcome again. So in the first lesson, we went over the basic tables, the user table and the other table with the task. And we connected the users with the task in the user table. This is one way to do it. Or you can add the user who finished the task in the task table. Another way to do it is to add a different table, and you can use user dash task. And here you can add the user ID and the task ID and the date time. So for example, here the table ID. So for example, user number 1 finished task 1, and this is the time date. User number 2 finished task 2, and maybe that was done yesterday. So this is how the users will record in a different table. The task will have the task and description. The users table will have the users table with their information. And then this table will have the date time when the task is completed. And we can add here the status is completed, for example. Or if the status is complete, true. So whenever they select true, it's gonna be here, it's true. And this is can be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and so forth. So this is how you record the findings or the task if they are done in different tables. Now I'm going to show you if we want to do the same things in Glide app. So we will go to Glide app. And log in with your Google account. And then here we will start a new team. In this team, I started with Dr. Ahmed, so I'm gonna continue with Dr. Ahmed team. So you go to new project, and here you can click, and you can name the project new project 01, for example, and then maybe it's a mobile project. So continue as an app, and I'm gonna use Glide table. You can use Google Sheet for that. It's the same way we build them. So we will start with Google Sheet, but you can do any other form of tables. So we can continue here. I'm gonna use, let's say, so you go to new app, you name your project, and then you select mobile and you continue. And I'm gonna go from Glide table, create the project. So in this version, I'm gonna use 3 tables. So this is a data section. So if I click on the data, it will tell me there is a table already made for me. It's called things. There is another table, it's called categories, and the third one is users. So the first one I don't need, so I'm gonna delete. Yes. And second one I don't need, so I'm gonna delete. Yes. So the first one here is users. And as you see here, it has the name, the email, the photo, the role. You can add by clicking the plus sign. And I want the ID, user ID. So there is a way to do it with others. So it's called raw ID, or you can use it as the user ID. It's going to come here. Sometimes you can name it user ID, for example. But it has the same like unique ID. Each row, new row, will have a different unique ID. This is the first table. It's similar to the table that we created in Excel. So users tables, it has a name, user ID, email, photo. And then you can add any other information. And they have the role, for example. So here, the role. You can modify that instead of the role. I can edit that. I can add phone number, or I can add address, or I can add batch number, for example. Any information that you want, you can add it here. So I'm going to add the phone number. So this is the user information where you can pull it up as a profile. So the user profile will have their name, their status, for example, their any information. You can add it as new columns here. So for now, we will just use this as a user table. Then we can create another table, and it's going to be a new table. And the new table will have the name. I'm going to name this as task instead. And then I'm going to add another column with the description of the task, and another column with the status of the user. Or I can add the user and the task ID. Task ID here. I'm going to rename it task ID. Enter. So this is similar to the table here, table 2 task. So ID, task, description, maybe the users who completed the task. Then I'm gonna add another, I'm gonna rename this as task. So I click it and rename it. So if you click twice, it's gonna be highlighted, and then as you can rename it. I'm gonna add another table. This table is gonna be the user and the task. So I'm gonna name it users task. So whenever there is a user, so I'm gonna add here user ID. The user click on something, his or her ID will be stored here. Along that, it will be the task ID will be listed here. And I want to add the time, date, and time. So it's gonna be date and time, and if I want, I can add some ID for ID. So the user will be here, the task will be here, and then the date and time. We can status, can add that, and we can add it as true or false. We will use the balloon or boolean, and that's going to be like a check mark. So check, that means completed, or uncheck. Check means true, unchecked is false or empty. This is how you build the data tables, similar to the tables in Excel. I hope that will help you.